How to crochet. Adding a new ball of yarn.
For this stitch, you'll need a crochet hook and a ball of yarn. Special thanks to our sponsor Webbs for providing today's yarn. Today we are using their Northampton yarn from their Valley Yarns line in the color Raspberry Heather.
When you're crocheting, eventually you're going to run out of yarn. And sometimes that can happen when you're in the middle of a project like this. So what I tend to do is add a new ball, very much like you would add a new color. Now here, I don't really have enough length to weave in this end. I mean, I probably would be okay, but I want a little bit more. And so we want about 5 or 6 inches on our tail. So to add a new ball of yarn, I'm going to start doing another stitch. In this case, I was doing a single crochet. So here I'm drawing my loop through, and before I complete the stitch, I'm going to grab the tail of my new ball of yarn, like this one here, and I'm going to again take about 6 inches or maybe a little bit more there, and I'm just going to put a loop over my hook, and then I'm going to draw the yarn through to finish up my stitch. And now I can continue working with the new ball of yarn. So then once I'm finished with my project, I'm just going to have a couple of tails to weave in to the back end. Now if you didn't want to weave in the tails, what you could do is just integrate them into your stitch. So here I'm going to grab both tails and just hold them in between my stitch. So here I'm working over the tails as I go, and this will let me kind of seam them in while I work without having to do a bunch of it later. And then after you've done probably 6 stitches or so, you can just cut the tails and they'll already be integrated into the pattern. So real quick, let's do this one more time. So again, what I've done here is I've been finishing a stitch, and let's just say that I was doing a double crochet. So I would start working my double crochet, and I would continue working the double crochet until I got to the last 2 loops on my hook. Then I would grab my new yarn and make a loop and then place that onto my hook. Then I will draw the new yarn through and tighten down that stitch. Okay, and then I would use my working yarn to start working my next stitch, the working yarn from the new ball. And then I can continue working. Again, I'm integrating the tails into the work as I am crocheting along here, so I won't have to weave in the ends later. So that's how we add a new ball of yarn when we run out.
Want more New Stitch a Day? Check out our website at newstitchaday.com.